guys know the history of roller coasters? Show of hands. No one? Okay. So do any of you guys know which are the fastest or one of the tallest rides in the world? The one. Good guess. Yeah. Okay. So in a show of hands, for those of you who go to like Six Flags or theme parks and ride roller coasters, which face will you identify yourself with? The one on the left or the one on the right? In the show of hands, the one on the left? Either one?
A combination
I'm like in the middle.
Okay.
Depends on the ride.
So I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know what a roller coaster is or have ridden one. My attraction to roller coasters made me want to do research and learn more about them. I experienced attraction to roller coasters because I love going to Six Flags and I love riding the rides. My roller coasters create a feeling of excitement in various ways, especially with their height and their speed. So first I'm going to talk about the history in roller coasters, and then I'm going to talk about the hydraulic roller coasters that are known to be the fastest and highest. And lastly, I am going to explain on the change and impact that roller coasters have done to America worldwide. So, roller coasters were built in the 1600s. Based on the website Ultimate Roller Coasters, the origin of the roller coasters dates back in the Russian ice slides built in the mid-1600s. The oldest rides back then, they were known from the Russian mountains, and the reason why was because the hills of the ice, they were constructed by St. Petersburg, and the only problem that there was to that was that they could only use them during winter time, so that the ice wouldn't be melted. So they used to just slide down, use things to slide down, and that was their way of roller coasters back then. By the 1700s, there was a new form of roller coasters, and people started to put wheels on the carts, and they would slide down the rails, and they made it more. They expanded more onto it so that it would be easier, and they could actually use it all year round, not just in the winter. So now that I have talked about the history, I am going to talk about the two of the fastest and highest rides known. So the King Dakar is located in New Jersey. It is known as the world's best ride. According to Mish Goldish in his published book, The Heart-Stopping Roller Coasters from 2012, he states, luckily this heart-stopping ride lasts less than a minute. He also stated that for this ride, this is the King Dakar, he stated that the height of it is 456 feet and the speed is 125 miles per hour. The Steel Dragon 2000 is located in Japan. But this ride, I didn't get the full picture because it's really huge. It's known to be up to I think twice as big as a football field. And Goldish also shares information that this ride is 315 feet high and the speed is 95 miles per hour. And he does a comparison, not on this one, but on the King Dakar, I forgot, he does a comparison being as high as a 45 building that you would see. So one of the advantages that the Steel Dragon has is that it was built really strong and sustainable to be able to resist the earthquakes that happen in Japan. So now that I have talked about two of the world's best and known high and speed roller coasters, I am going to talk about the way it has expanded before since she's going now. So, back in one of the first rides in America, and was called the Switchback Railway. It opened in New York in 1884. In the History.com website, there's an article, the article First Roller Coaster in America opens in 2014 shares that the roller coaster's height for the Switchback Railway was 50 feet and with a speed of 6 miles per hour. And back then it only used to cost 5 cents to ride a ride, which now it's like you have to pay to go into a theme park, which costs like $60 or more or whatnot. And you get to ride a lot more rides, but it is more expensive. And in today's time, in today's history, there's one of the rides that I, known as the newest, is the Full Throttle, and it opened in 2013, and it has really high big loop and drop, and it's known to be as high as 160 feet with a speed of 70 miles per hour. So and one advantage that now rides have from back then is that they're all made of steel. Well, majority are made out of steel, and they're really more longer rides, more exotic rides, really attractive to the people. So now that I have talked about the history, about the before and after roller coasters differences, I am going to wrap things up. So roller coasters are made and expanded all over the world. They have them to, they make them and expand more to have people experience the thrill in their speed and height. First, I talked about the history. Second, I talked about the world's 2 popular known roller coasters. And third, I talked about how they have changed over time. So maybe some of you don't like roller coasters or heights in general, but I recommend to face your fears and experience the nasty and funny and weird feeling in one when you're actually going down a loop or a drop or whatever it is, and you feel everything in your stomach go up to your chest or your throat. I find it funny and I find it interesting and I love it. So even if it means that you have to throw up after the ride, I just give it a try. That's it.